Hey, this is James from Reid Bamboo Fly Rods, and what we're going to do today is tape up a splice joint rod. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. Put two sections together and put some tape around. Things you want to keep in mind when you're doing this is whether or not your rod has witness marks on it. A mark that will tell you where to line up the splice to, or if it doesn't. If it does, line up the end of the splice, the tip part, to the mark on the opposite section, and you begin your taping there. If it doesn't have witness marks on it, what you want to do is locate on the rod shaft where the cut begins for the splice. That is to say, where the fibers are starting to be cut at, and you want to take your end and go right to that point, and then go about an eighth of an inch past there. Once you're there, you want to hold your two joints together, take your tape, start it right over the end of that splice, half on and half on the shaft of the rod. Turn that around, and as you're taping up, you want to be always adding tension to the tape. The tape has a little bit of stretch to it, so you want to stretch that tape a little bit the entire time you're winding around. Stretching and winding, stretching and winding. You want to have a little bit of overlap on your tape, say at least a quarter of an inch. And as you work your way down the splice, constantly adding tension, you'll come to the end, go over the end, overlap onto the next section by about a quarter to a half an inch. Turn around and do exactly the same thing in reverse. Adding tension the whole time. The idea here is you want to have as much tension on that joint as you can. You want it to be stuck together as good as it can be. That's going to add some feel and some liveliness to your rod. When you get to the end, where you started, just pull and break off your tape. And that's about it. That's as simple as it gets. When you're first starting out doing this, you might want to put the two sections together as we did when we started, and put a little cheater piece of tape on there to hold it together, and then start your wrap. And when you get to that cheater piece of tape, remove it, keep going, double back over yourself, and you're good. If you have a 3-piece spliced rod instead of a 2-piece spliced rod, I'd suggest putting together the tip and midsection of your rod first. They're a bit lighter and a bit easier to handle once you go to put the rest of the rod together. So what we're going to do now is, that was kind of the slow-mo version of taping a joint. After you become more comfortable with taping a joint, things will go quite a bit quicker. So we are going to tape up another joint in real time. Same thing as before. Line up your splice. If you've got witness marks, line up the witness marks. If you don't have witness marks on your rod, eighth of an inch past. Get your tape, get it started, so you've got a little bit to work with there. Over the start, adding tension the whole time. If you're, at the river and gearing up at the back of your truck or the back of your car, a great thing to do is to rest the butt section of this rod on your tailgate or in your trunk. And it just gives you a little something to work with, rest against, rotate against, and that is it. We've just taped up our whole 3-piece rod, and we're ready to fish. So that's about as easy as it gets. Cheers and tight lines.